In Appalachia, you never whistle in the forest. Not because of superstition, because there's something out there that might whistle back, and it's never human. In the mountains, these rules aren't just suggestions, they're warnings. From the people who have lived here for generations, the old timers who have lived in these mountains and hollers all their lives. Out here, whistling isn't just a noise, it's a way of communication. And there are things out there waiting, hoping that someone just like you will acknowledge they're around. This is one you guys have been asking about for months. Why don't you whistle in the Appalachian Mountains? It's very simple, but also very terrifying. The entities out of here in the wilderness, they're like leeches. They're like parasites. They're out here just patiently waiting for people who don't know the rules to wander along and give them that invitation. And for one reason or another, that's exactly what whistling is to them. And if you think about it, we do that amongst ourselves. Sometimes we will whistle to get people's attention. If someone's in a crowd and you can't scream loud enough, you whistle and they turn around. It's kind of the same principle, but on a whole new spooky level. And I can say this because I have heard it. Growing up in Appalachia, being a hunter, fisherman, outdoorsman, I have been in these mountains for countless hours. Before daylight, after dark, I have heard and seen these things. That doesn't mean terrifying things happen all the time, but when they do, you know it. There is no mistaking it. Have I ever whistled in the woods? I'm sure I have, but I try not to make a habit of it, and I am very mindful of it. If I do, I catch myself. Now, I'm talking about just whistling, kind of like how you will hum a song in your head, but when you deliberately whistle, there are things out there that often reply. And it kind of goes along in the same category as to why you never answer something that calls your name. Check out that video. You'll hear a whistle. It could be close. I have heard whistles that are pretty close. But usually they're off just a little ways, enough to make you curious. It sounds like it's on the other side of this ridge. Maybe I should go check it out. Then you walk to the other side of the ridge and you don't see nothing, but you hear the whistle again. This time a little farther away, deeper down in the holler. So what do? You go check it out. Maybe someone's lost. Maybe it's a kid. They need my help. They need medical attention. I can almost guarantee you that's not the case. There are people who do go missing, and if you're looking for someone who's lost, then I'm not saying you should ignore a whistle or screams at that point. But if you're out going on a hike, or you're hunting, or just taking a walk through the mountains to, let the world go for a while, and you start hearing these things, that's when you have to be careful. That doesn't mean something's going to happen every time you go out. Probably not. For the most part, the mountains, they're peaceful. But it can go from this to this that quickly. People who haven't been in the mountains that much might not realize how loud the mountains are, how loud the forest is. There's always wildlife. There are birds and just abundant wildlife everywhere. It's actually quite loud. But if it goes silent, that's when you need to be careful. That's when you need to turn around and leave. And that isn't to say that there aren't some animals, birds, that can make a whistling noise, but you can usually tell. Most of the time, these whistles sound very human, very intentional, and there's almost a total shift in the atmosphere. The mood changes. If you've ever walked into a haunted house or a haunted building, you can feel the heaviness, the oppression almost. Kind of the same thing. Your body knows. I think we have a sixth sense built into us, and we kind of know when something's not right. You just get that gut feeling when you're in a situation where you know you need to get out of it. You need to leave. Same thing. Or you've been around people, strange, violent, mean, evil people. You know. It isn't a matter of question. you realize what's going on here. Same thing, these entities, what are they? They have many names. At their core, I believe they're the same. I believe they're demonic. They may appear as what we would call a mimic, even a skinwalker or shapeshifter. It might look human, it might sound human, but it's not. It certainly isn't a ghost, because if you've heard me talk about ghosts, you'll know that ghosts are not real. Biblically speaking, there are no human spirits roaming around the mountains or in abandoned houses or buildings, rattling chains. That just don't happen. That's not biblically accurate. We go to God upon death. The Bible is very clear. There are things out there. Evil, malevolent things. Things that want nothing more than to deceive you. Things that want to lure you deeper and deeper into the forest, into the mountains, when you're all alone. To what end? I don't know. But I'm sure it's nothing good. Maybe it's for no other reason than to keep getting you deeper and deeper in until you get lost. Maybe you don't have a cell phone. Maybe you don't have cell service. Maybe you don't have enough food, water, or shelter for you to survive, at least not for a long period of time. Whatever the end game is, it isn't good. And you may think something as innocent as whistling is kind of maybe childish, but I can assure you it's a real thing, because I've told you I have heard it. I have lived in these mountains for 44 years, and I know that they're no joke. Whistling out in the mountains. I'm not saying that if you go out into Appalachia and you whistle that something bad's going to happen, but I can tell you that there are things waiting. It's a form of communication. When you whistle, it's like you're saying, here I am. I'm right here. There's lots of noises in the mountains, like I said a moment ago. Footsteps, be it people, animals, bear, deer, elk. There's a lot of footsteps. There's not a lot of things that whistle. There are some birds that can make that whistling noise, but it's not the same. So when you go out there and you whistle, intentionally whistle, that's just like putting a neon sign up above your head saying, here I am. As long as you stay informed and you know the truth, you know what's out there, the potential dangers. And this can also apply to natural things, predators. Same thing. If you talk, shout, scream, whistle, they hear it also. These mountains are full of mountain lions. I have seen them. I have seen black panthers in Appalachia. There's a lot of black bear, which for the most part they're pretty non-aggressive, but you never know. These are just things that are good all the way around. These Appalachian rules, sure, it protects you against the supernatural, but also the natural things. And there are people in the mountains sometimes. I mean, most of the people are probably like you and me and just out enjoying themselves, hiking, hunting, whatever. But there's a lot of crazy people out there. And if you walk down the streets of a city and you start talking, yelling, whistling, people's going to look to you. Same thing applies in the mountains. And you just never know what's out there. I'm going to be covering the rest of the Appalachian rules in future videos. Go check out all the other ones that I've done thus far, and let me know in the comments what rule would you like me to cover, or if you have any questions about this one, I want to know. Please hit that like button, turn on all notifications, and subscribe. That's the best way you can support me and this channel, and you'll also know every time I post a video just like this. You can also follow me over on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook as The Supernatural Sleuth, or if you have any kind of story, picture, or video you would like to share, you can email me at thesupernaturalsleuth@gmail.com. I thank you guys so much. I appreciate each and every one of you. Have a great day. God bless.